Okay, so as we continue our talk about parasites, we talked about the reality of the parasite issue going on with many people. And so now we're going to go over a parasite cleanse that I kind of revised. It's based off of Dr. Hulda Clark's work mainly, and I use her cleanses mainly. But first we'll just start with the adult one. The adult cleanse, there's two cleanses. There's a 3-part kit and there's a 7-part kit. She recommends the 7-part kit for somebody who might suspect they would have tapeworms or bigger parasites. But the 3-part kit handles the majority of parasites. And this is just an 18-day cleanse. It's very simple. It comes with an instruction sheet. It says day 1, do this, this, and this. Day 2, take this, this, and this. Day 3, on down for 18 days. What's interesting about what she discovered, because she worked with people with parasites for over 30 years, she says that you get approximately 10% of the parasites by doing an 18-day cleanse. Which, you know, in our world today, people want to do a cleanse and like everything's fixed no matter what their problem is. So, not a reality, especially when it comes to parasites, because they are living organisms. They do lay eggs. You can kill them, but they continue to regrow. You can get reinfected. So she people continuously do a maintenance portion of a parasite cleanse. So there's maintenance kits that you can get, and the way the maintenance kits work is you basically take a set amount, and it's laid out in the instruction sheet, a set amount of pills just one day, once a week for maintenance, and that could be for a prolonged period of time. She recommends doing it for life. You know, it's hard to know how long you need to do it. I would say a minimum of 6 months. You know, I think if somebody knew beyond a shadow of a doubt that they had parasites coming out, they'd probably want to do it for an extended period of time. You know, potentially a year or 2 years, who knows? But you want to be sure. But you definitely want to stay consistent with it, because if you don't, you can, you know, again, get reinfected and kind of have to start all over again. So that's the basis of the 18-day cleanse. Now, what I did here was I kind of wrote out a parasite cleanse for adults 18 plus. I put in parentheses, not for pregnancy or breastfeeding. These are very strong herbs. There might be other contraindications as well, but mainly you definitely would not want to have a woman who's pregnant or breastfeeding do a parasite cleanse with this strong of herbs. So usually have people start with either the 3-part or the 7-part kit for 18 days, then get started on the maintenance for a month. Now, if they know, again, if they know they have parasites, and people know that, you know, you see things come out. So if you know it's an issue, then what is recommended after the 1 month of maintenance is you do a stronger cleanse. She calls it on her sheet the high dose parasite program. And it's a 3 to 5 week program. And so week 1, she recommends, it's the same 3 products. It's the green black walnut, the cloves, and the super W blend. So it's the same 3 items that are in the 3-part cleanse. So they can actually buy the 3-part cleanse for the stronger dosage program. And it's for week 1, she recommends you do this every day for a week. Then week 2, do this every day for the 2nd week, and then week 3, and again, it's laid out there in the instruction sheet. This is my write-up. Inside the boxes are the Hulda Clark instruction sheets for how to do the high-dose program. Does that make sense? Okay. What she says in her sheet is you do this for 3 weeks, the high-dose program. And if you have noticeable results or there's noticeably things happening, to continue it for 5 weeks. And then again, you'd go to maintenance after that. If you do it for 3 weeks and maybe it doesn't seem like major events are happening, then maybe you just quit after 3 weeks, but then again, continue in the maintenance program. What I have added, in addition to what she recommends, is 2 different products. Now, you might do one or the other depending on if you know what you have, but a lot of people don't. They just notice weird things coming out. I get some herbs from another company. One is called quassia bark. Quassia bark has been used for liver, gallbladder-related parasites, liver flukes, and those types of parasites. The epizote Episote is a plant called Mexican, they call it Mexican worm seed or Mexican worm tea or something like that. But it's what they've used in Mexico, and it grows in other parts of the world too, traditionally throughout history, to help rid people of worms and different infections. It's pretty funny. I did a phone consultation with a gal, and it was related to her child. And she had eczema really bad, and she told me all the symptoms, and I said, it's pretty clear from what I'm hearing, it sounds like the child has parasites, and you might want to do this parasite cleanse. And I happened to mention to Episote that it was really specific to worms. I don't think I mentioned that. Episote is very specific to hookworms, roundworms, different types of worms in the body, tapeworms. And I mentioned Episote, not in a million years thinking anybody's going to know what I'm talking about. Like, who's ever heard of Episote, right? I'd never heard of it until I called this guy. And she started laughing. And I said, what's funny? And she had an accent. She's from Mexico. And she goes, my mom has been asking me for a couple of years to give my daughter Episote. Because she's from Mexico, she knew about it, and they would traditionally drink it in a tea form. So her mom had been trying to get her to give it to her daughter for a couple of years, and here I'm telling her to give her Episote. I just thought that was pretty funny. So anyway, those are a couple additions you can add just to basically strengthen the parasite cleanse even more.
Water, if you're not doing enemas, how do you take them?
Yeah, so thank you. So to take those, it's a liquid tincture. And so basically just a dropper of each in a glass of water and drink it. And I put to do 1 full dropper twice a day in water. And then if you are doing enemas, you could add those herbs to water like in an enema as well. Okay, so that's pretty much it for the adult
Is that during
version.
the high dose or is that during the maintenance?
It's during the high dose.
Only during the high dose?
Yeah, only during the high dose. And then you'd go to the maintenance.
And you don't carry through with those into the maintenance?
Correct. Yep. Okay, so then we have the children's parasite cleanse. Now the children's parasite cleanse is different for a number of reasons. One is most children aren't going to want to swallow capsules. If you open these capsules and try to put it in something, probably not going to work. Cloves, I mean, super powerful. So that is going to be rough going. So I use Dr. Christopher's Herbal Parasite Syrup. Dr. Christopher, brilliant herbalist, has been helping people for a long time. His company's still around. He's not, but he was a brilliant herbalist. And it's vegetable glycerin based, so it doesn't taste bad. Now, not every child like it. I've had people tell me they can't get their children to drink it. But most children are perfectly fine with it because it's sweet. It's vegetable glycerin based. Vegetable glycerin is naturally sweet. So it's a blend of herbal parasite syrup, 1 teaspoon. And I recommend getting a little medicine cup, like one of those little plastic medicine cups. So a teaspoon of the herbal parasite syrup, a half a teaspoon of food-grade diatomaceous earth, which you can get in bulk, and that's super cheap. Diatomaceous earth is high in silica. It shreds parasites. It's been traditionally used in farming. People would give it to their pets to kind of deworm their animals, and it's totally harmless to people. And actually, women take it often because it makes their hair, skin, and nails grow, and silica is really important for bone health, etc. So there's other benefits to it. But a half a teaspoon of diatomaceous earth, you add that to the herbal parasite syrup in the medicine cup, and then you do a full dropper of this formula by LA Naturals called Parasite. And the reason there's 2 different formulas is I haven't found one formula that has everything I like in it. So I basically combined a couple of different ones.
What's different about the Christopher versus LA Natural?
Well, the Dr. Christopher one has wormwood, black walnut, fennel, senna, and then the parasite syrup actually has the first ingredient is the quassia, quassia wood. And I really like the quassia because so many people have issues with the liver going on. And it's got bayberry, and it has the clove in it, which is nice. So,
I have a question.
Yes.
What age are these dosages for? Would you
it's
say
not
it's
age
like 6
specific.
years?
No, I would say a child, gosh, I don't know about I would say if they're over a year, it shouldn't be an issue at all.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, if they're taking in solid foods, I mean, think of it this way. Traditionally, throughout history, people always gave their children things to cleanse parasites at a very, very young age because they knew it was an issue. People lived on farms, they had pets, people just got parasites. And, you know, all throughout history, people would do parasite cleanses with their children, starting at a very, very young age. Usually it's castor oil or something kind of nasty like that, but that's what they use. So yeah, I've had multiple. I actually have a gal I'm working with that's 1.5. The mom's giving it to her 1.5-year-old who was itching, eczema, couldn't sleep at night, and started doing this protocol. And within 2 weeks, not itching, sleeping through the night. I mean, so it's made a huge difference. So you can definitely use it on young children.
Would you increase it for an older child?
No, you don't.
Dosage.
Yeah, there's no change in dosages. Yeah, I mean, maybe I should look at that. I mean, maybe if a child's 1, they wouldn't need this, you know, not that this is a super strong dose, but if a child's 1, they probably don't need this strong of a dose. This would probably be more for like, you know, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years
That's
old.
what I was wondering,
So,
just then with blowouts and
yeah.
stuff, like, maybe that wouldn't be as.
Yeah.
Or maybe just one time a day versus 2.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, so I'll have to look at that. So yeah, I mean, why don't we just say that,
I mean, this is what we've been doing with Naomi, so
Yep,
she's 2.
and she's 2.5, yep.
Fine with it.
So yeah, I would say if maybe a child's like 1 to 3, maybe if they're 1 to 3, it'd be like half dose. It'd
Or
probably be a
just
good
one
way to
time
do
a
it.
day, or half a dose twice.
Probably half a dose
Maybe
because it's
spread
such a
it out.
strong
Yeah.
dosage at one time.
Half a dose twice. a
Yeah,
day.
so I would say half this for children 1 to 3. I'll update that on here. But then if they're over 3, I think this would be fine.
And would you still continue to do the morning and night, even with the 1 to 3?
Yes, but it's
Okay,
half dose.
yeah, got it.
Yep. So yeah, you mix the ingredients together. You do it in the morning and you do it at night, and you do it in cycles. So in cycles means you do it for 5 days in a row, and then you take a 2-day break. And you do it for 5 days in a row, and you take a 2-day break. And you repeat that for 4 cycles, which is about a month. And again, I always recommend pay attention to the symptoms, how the child's reacting, a seemingly good reaction, a seemingly bad reaction. Sometimes what you think is a bad reaction is a good reaction. Because when you start taking parasite herbs, if you have parasites, things start to happen. It can affect sleep. So just pay attention to that. I got a lot, I mean, I could give you so many examples just because the parasite thing's been really highlighted to me again just within, the last 2-3 months. And I've started giving it to pretty much every child I see that has eczema and itching and a lot of can't sleep at night. It's amazing. We actually went to a consignment sale today and ran into a gal who's doing it with her 3-year-old daughter. And same thing, she was itching so bad, it was bleeding and couldn't sleep at night. And literally within a month, you know, the child's sleeping through the night, the itching's gone, the eczema's clearing up. She couldn't even wear sandals because her feet were so messed up from the eczema. And she's wearing sandals, and so it's just really neat to see it work. So then after you do the 4 cycles for about a month, then you can do maintenance. And the only thing different with the maintenance is I recommend, I actually don't have it here, it's over in the cedar bear section, but I recommend getting the cedar bear clove tincture and doing a full dropper, doing the same thing, but adding a full dropper of clove to it, and you only do it 1 day a week. That's the maintenance. Once in the morning, once at night, same formula as before, but add the dropper of clove. The reason you add extra clove is because clove is what's known to kill parasite eggs. So the other herbs kill the other stages of parasites in various growth stages, but cloves kill the eggs. So that's why you want to add the extra cloves. I did just put one note here to never ever have constipation during a parasite cleanse. So you have a child who has constipation, you want to make sure you correct the constipation first. Whether that's through diet changes, whether that's through herbs to make sure they're going to the bathroom. If people are taking a parasite cleanse and they're not eliminating, they should be taking herbs to help them go. Because you want to make sure you're getting that out. If not, you can get sick from the die-off of the parasites infecting the bloodstream in the body. Optional, I throw in the fun old school remedy just for kicks. been around, I put thousands of years, I don't know if that's true, probably at least hundreds of years. But around a full moon, you can drink a combination of castor oil and brandy.
Oh.
So here's what's funny about it. They say brandy does to parasites what it does to people. It disables them. It numbs them. So if you study parasitology, which is really freaky, these living organisms have hooks and jaws and claws, and they attach to people. And so the brandy gets them drunk, they let go, the castor oil flushes them out of the body. So you wouldn't necessarily have to do the brandy. So I put that, of course, as optional. I don't even, did I even put the brandy in there?
No.
Oh, I didn't. Okay, that's how they traditionally did it, was castor oil and brandy. Isn't that funny?
Could you add diatomaceous earth to that
You sure could.
instead of the brandy?
Oh, I don't know if it had the same effect.
But it would still be okay to add.
It'd be fine to add.
castor oil.
Yeah, it'd be fine to add diatomaceous earth to that if you wanted
So
to.
castor oil by itself, will that be beneficial?
Yes,
But the brandy makes it even more beneficial by loosening.
loosening the parasites, basically. Yeah, castor oil by itself is very effective. It I mean, you want to do a quick colon flush. Anybody got constipation? Again, old school remedy. Got constipation, tablespoon of castor oil. Bloop.
It'll take care of the ones that are already loose.
It'll take care of the ones in the intestinal tract that
They
are.
weren't, they
Yep.
didn't know what
They
was
weren't
coming.
holding on.
Yep. They weren't ready for the
Right away,
roller coaster
everybody's
ride.
not hanging on. Yeah.
The castor oil we have is not food grade though, correct?
Well, we have an organic castor oil.
But can you drink that?
Well, I don't know if the companies would say to, because technically the castor bean is toxic, but they remove the hexane, the toxic part of it. So yes, you could consume it.
So if you're looking for castor oil, look for the hexane free or
Hexane free. Yeah, if you were gonna consume it, I would definitely get the organic.
Okay.
And we've got the capsules too, though. which would be
Yes.
the same
Oh,
thing.
good point. Yeah, we actually do have castor oil capsules.
Would that work?
Yes,
Same effect?
it would.
Okay.
What they actually say to do with the castor oil capsules is freeze them. What's that?
I was just remembering.
Yeah, freeze them, and then when you take them frozen, they actually bypass the stomach and go right to the intestines and then release. That way they don't get,
They're gonna bypass the stomach.
yeah, that's how they get past the stomach and the stomach acid. Now if you do a whole tablespoon of fresh castor oil, that's just going right through. Because that's pretty heavy duty. And so the castor oil is taken around the full moon cycle. So you ever heard that old adage that people are crazy, or places are crazy, or insane asylums are crazy around the full moon cycle? Parasites are more active around the full moon cycle. So they actually recommend taking the parasite, like the castor oil, the day before, the day of the full moon, and the day after the full moon.
So do you have a recommendation on the amount of the brandy, or is that? to your
It's usually
discretion?
equal. Yeah, on the amount of the brandy, it's usually equal parts. Yeah, it's usually equal parts. So if you're going to do a tablespoon of castor oil, you do a tablespoon of brandy. If it was a teaspoon of castor oil, it'd be a
Okay.
teaspoon of brandy, etc. So equal parts.
Just an ounce.
So any other questions about parasites, or we're going to move on? Yes.
For the full moon, would you do that for like a specific amount of time or?
It would be once a month if you
Once a
wanted to
month?
do that. Yeah, if you just wanted to do it around the full moon cycle once a
So
month.
that's just kind of like a maintenance thing.
Yeah,
You could do it.
that'd be a monthly maintenance thing you could do. You know, you could torture your kids with it, your dogs with it, whatever.
My kids
But
do
that, seriously, I mean, you look that up, and that's what people did. I mean, think about it this way: people lived on farms. People lived on farms. They were far away from a hospital. They were far away from a doctor. They didn't have any money. People knew how to take care of themselves when, on their own, before we relied on hospitals and doctors and, these types of things. So any other questions?
That's all. folks.
Okay,
That's